This past week saw some of the finest schoolboy rugby of the season being played as several annual inter-school derbies took place and we witnessed rugby of the highest caliber. In this week's SA School Sports First 15 Top 100 Rankings review, we take note of the epic encounter between Paarl Gym and Paarl Boys High. The 104-year-old derby that promised much and delivered even more, as arguably the biggest schoolboy rugby match on the planet. Boys High went into the match as the underdogs against Paarl Gym, who had already taken on and beaten Grey College earlier in the season. But the underdog tag suited Paarl Boys High just fine as they ignited their backline and tackled their hearts out. It was a spectacle worthy of the highest praise, and with nothing to separate the two teams, it is somewhat of a pity that the biggest talking point will be the controversial try awarded to Boys High. With a match of this caliber, one can only wonder why the decision wasn't based on the television cameras that seemed to clearly show a different angle and a different story to the one that the referee and his assistants saw. Despite a close 26-24 win by Boys High, the top three on the SA School Sports rankings remain unchanged as all three teams won their matches. We are left with the unusual scenario that Grey College, Paarl Gym and Boys High have all lost a match to each other. Grey to Paarl Gym to Boys High, and Grey beat Boys High earlier this year. Very little separates the top three, and it comes down to points scored and winning margins in their other matches, with Paarl Gym hanging on to the number one position this week by their fingernail. Grey College and Grey High School locked horns in their annual encounter, and although Grey College were expected to win, the tenacity shown by the enthusiastic Grey High boys was intense. Giving as good as they got, the Grey High outfit fought fire with fire and at times looked to be about to cause an upset. However, Grey College dug deep and at the end produced a string of tries to run away with a 52-34
points belongs to Jeff van Heerden.
The defeat leaves Grey High School losing some ground as they slide to 23rd position. Another huge match was the crunch game between Kez and Jeppe. The two Johannesburg rivals turned on the heat in the dying stages of the match. Jeppe, leading for most of the match, defended gamely on their line before Kez forced their way over for a try to snatch the lead and ultimately to win with minutes to spare. And in KZN, Maritzburg College played Pretoria Boys High for the return match, and it was College who were just too strong on the day for the boys from Pretoria. Maritzburg College, who have enjoyed a fairly successful season, will be happy with the finish to the season that they have given, and this win sees them move up to 26th position on the table. Here are this week's top 20 on the SA School Sports First 15 rankings. The rankings equation takes into consideration several key factors, including the strength of opposition, home and away status of the match, margin of victory, margin of defeat, actual points scored on the field, and others. Be sure to check out the complete top 150 rankings for this week by visiting the website saschoolsports.co.za. And please consider subscribing to this channel.